Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Center for Practical Spirituality, where we actually help one and all to get calibrated, rejuvenated, replenished, and renewed. That is it. And right now, we are in Mercury in retrograde. We are in the midst of it. I'm telling you, it is a good time. It's a good time to reorganize, to recalibrate, to recharge. You know, it's just like, go and find your jumper cables. What's a good jumper cable for you? For myself, it's going to be on Sundays, preaching and teaching. The other thing that I like to do is sit on my couch, be that couch potato every once in a while, sit on my couch, and then allow my puppies or my dogs, my wonderful babies, to sit next to me, and they give me some loving, and I get to watch a wonderful show, whatever it is. Or the other thing that I love to do is going out with friends and being able to be around their wonderful energy, and that we get to laugh, and laughter is great medicine. So during this time of Mercury being in retrograde, it is time, reorganize. I mean, just kind of start getting rid of some things, and reorganize your desk, reorganize your purse, reorganize, your mind in what you're feeding your mind, what you're feeding your soul. That's going to be the most important right now. Okay, so let us go ahead and get started by actually starting with our statement of being, which, oh, and by the way, you're going to be having a bunch of wonderful turkey, but here at the center, we decided we're going to have fish and chicken. Okay, so that's what we're going to be celebrating with. We're just going to break the mold. Okay, so instead of having, the turkey with the dressing and all of the wonderful fixings, because we're all going to be having it, instead, we are having J. Anthony's wonderful fried fish. Okay, it is one. If you've never tasted J. Anthony's, my mouth is watering. Okay, that's all I'm gonna say. So J. Anthony's, and we also have the chicken, and then some other. Oh, they're Spanish. Well, it's Spanish rice, but it's a little kick. It's a little Cajun in there, so it's really, really good. I know I'm doing a free plug for them, but I really don't care. They are good, and you can find several different places. Anyway, so let us go ahead and get started with our statement of being. God is all, both visible and invisible. One presence, one mind, one power is all. This one that is all is perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. I am ever one with this perfect life, perfect love, and perfect substance. And so it is. So, today's wonderful topic, or, kind of like the uplifting the soul that we're going to be focusing on, is we are the vessels. And in being the vessels, one of the things that I want to bring to our attention is the fulfillment. Now is a fulfillment, because God is omnipresent. We have received already. Now is a fulfillment of all promises. All things are now ready. Open thou mine eyes that I may see. One of the things that Jesus the Christ went ahead and did was he helped us from a metaphysical perspective. He's our greatest metaphysician. And so one of the things that he kind of like wanted for us to remember and to know, because this is what's coming through right now, is that we will do greater than he. We will do greater than what he has ever done. 1. 2, right here where it says, all things are now ready, and that our eyes are now ready to see. May we be able to see exactly what we're needing to see. Now, what is it that we're having to see, and with which eye? Is it with our eyes, with our 2 eyes? No, it's going to be our 3rd eye. So it's going back to intuition. It is going back to knowing that we are the resurrection. Each and every one of us, we are the resurrection. We are the light of the world. We are making a difference on a daily basis. each of us, we have our assignments. And so whenever you stop denying the truth about you, what you are to this world, that's when you are going to be able to open those doors and allow the prosperity as well as infinite intelligence to show you your next step. You are a wonderful vessel. We all are. So let's go ahead and get into our Uplifting the Soul service. The most common way that people give up their power is by thinking they don't have any. Alice Walker. When we align, so today, one of the other topics that I talked about in my first church service today was in reference to being disciplined. And so one of the disciplines that I actually had to recall and understand was the discipline that was instilled within me as a child and as a young adult. You know, the number one discipline that I had on Sundays was, 1, go to church, but 2 was to eat barbacoa tacos. That was a discipline. No Big Red at the time, okay? It wasn't about Big Red. I did coffee with my parents, okay? And prior to that, I think it was it was sweet tea. It was a good tea that they made all the time. Lord, I'm thinking, this is the second time that I've thought about that. But anyway, we're having fish today with chicken, okay? No barbacoa. You know, but the discipline was, my father would get me up in the morning, and he would go and get the barbacoa. Mom would prepare it. I would go to church because Mom and Dad took care of grandmother. And so by the time I went to church, and I thoroughly enjoyed it. And I would come back and Mom, oh, mija, how did it go? So on and so forth. We would sit down, we would eat. And so then whenever it got to college time and that I didn't have Mom and Dad, I missed a particular type of discipline. And that discipline was to be able to, to be able to have conversation, to have, it's kind of like my father bring in that barbacoa, to be able to, number one, before anything, I was still going to church, but I was missing the discipline of sitting together and breaking bread as a family. And so as I got older and as things changed, I found a community where after church service, which was St. Michael's Catholic Church, guess what we would do? We would all go, to the wonderful little area, to the parish hall, and we had what? Barbacoa tacos. So I was able to find a different kind of community and a different way to continue, to exercise and practice the discipline of family, of unity, and breaking bread. And I also, every Sunday, continued to energize what? The vessel that we have, which was to actually go to church and be fed. So let's continue here. The greater your consciousness of being, the more automatically will the law flow from this consciousness into the acquisition of the things you desire. In other words, it goes from the invisible to the visible. And whatever it is that your heart's desire is, once you are at that equal vibration, then it will appear into the visible. From the invisible. What's the invisible? The imagination. Okay? That's what it is. A widow burdened by debt after recent death of her husband and fearing the looming threat of her sons being taken as collateral, pleaded with the prophet Elijah in despair. I have no way to pay, and now they are coming to take my sons. Elijah did not respond with sympathy, nor did he name her misfortune. He simply said, "Tell me what you do have," she cried. "A small jar of oil, nothing more." Elijah smiled, not as one who dismisses pain, but as one who sees beyond it. "Then go," he said. "Gather and borrow as many empty vessels as you can." With no energy left to resist, she walked through the village asking neighbors for jars, bowls, pots. She returned with as many as she could acquire. Then, instructed by Elijah, she tipped the jar of oil. It poured and poured and poured, filling every acquired vessel. Even then, the oil could have continued flowing. She wept. She wept. Not because the oil multiplied, but because the illusion of nothingness was broken. And in the space of that miracle, the quiet truth revealed itself. Not one of magic, but of remembrance. You never lack. You only forgot. Like the widow, by the way, I am the widow as well. I too forget. I forget that I am the blessed, I am the vessel, the oil, and the act of pouring. I forget that I am not separate from the flow. Each and every one of us are connected. You know, we are connected as well as plugged in. Just like in the Matrix, we're plugged in to the flow of life, to the source of life. There is no distance between me and source. There is no separation between myself and source. There is no separation between you and source. The one who gives, the one who receives, and the gift itself are never apart. So, I'm going to read, something just came to me. A shift from the dream of not enough to the waking truth of sufficiency. When you go from saying, I'm not enough, stop. You are more than enough. You are, and you dare to prosper. You are the son and the daughter of a loving father, and you dare to prosper. Now, I'm going to go ahead and kind of get out of this, and let me see if I can remember that. Oh my goodness. It's called the Gold Dust Club. Gold. Hold on. Let me see. I don't know if I have it in here. Hold on. I'm trying. Gold Dust. Ha! I found it. This is an affirmation that Reverend Dr. Ann Kunith provided. And it, you know, I've been doing this for quite a few years. When did I start doing this thing? In 2020, right? This is the first time that this comes up. This is what it says. I have made a change. I can, and I am doing all these things. And so this is what the Gold Dust Club affirms. Okay, this is the wonderful. It was something that was very powerful, and one of the things that I had to do was I had to change my thinking so I could change my life. This particular form came to me, I would say in 2002, maybe 2003. So this is what it says. I'm a person who doesn't wait for life to happen to me. I happen to life. I move through the world like sunshine on a cloudy day, boldly and with laughter. My whole existence is a powerful adventure, a drama in which I play the star, always in command, always the producer and the director and the idol. Does that sound familiar? What did we just read right down here in being a part of? You know, the one who gives, the one who receives, and the gift itself are never apart. This is where being the vessel truly means and is. See, we are the producer. We are the director. And we are the idol of our own what? Show. You know, it's kind of like we do not allow for life to happen to us. We happen to life. That is the beauty of being in metaphysics, being a truth, being in truth. When you understand that you and God, you and source, you and infinite intelligence, you and divine mind, you and the Christ consciousness and the Buddha consciousness, that there is no separation, you will then understand what it means by saying that the world is your oyster. It goes back, like the widow, I too have forgotten. What did we forget? That we are the vessel, we are the oil and the act of pouring. We forgot that we are not separate from the flow. We are the flow. We are the flow of love. We are the flow of life. We are the flow of the Christ mind in action. We are the flow of God consciousness, walking and changing and doing the impossible, because everything is possible through God. There is no distance between ourselves and source. Source is not out there. Source is right here. We are the eyes. We are the, ears. Whenever we're doing a meditation and we're, going into the zone, and that we're going into the gap as, what is his name? Wayne Dyer used to say, it's the gap where you find and you hear what source is talking to you about. When you get in that gap, whenever you're in that wonderful moment of letting go and you say, I now relax my scalp. I now relax my eyes and my eyeballs. I now relax my mind. I now relax, my whole entire face. I now relax my chest, inner and outer. I now relax my whole entire being. You start acknowledging those parts of your body. Who would have thought of relaxing your scalp? You usually just relax your mind. Well, let's go ahead and relax your eyebrows. Relax your shoulders. When you start relaxing, do you see the difference? Just by I saying, relax your shoulders, all of a sudden, I even look skinnier. I had to say that. I shift from the dream of not enough to the waking truth of sufficiency. When you understand that you brightly shine the light within you, through you, and as you to the world, and you understand that the fulfillment is already here, right now. So you're going to ask, it's like, well, yes, Katrina, we're trying to grasp that, but how does all of this work with what is going on in the world? It's exactly what needs to be happening, because what we're doing is we're elevating to a new consciousness of awareness and enlightenment. And what we're doing is we're letting go of those things that no longer serve us and are no longer a part of our truth. So we're facing those things that are not of love, of light and joy and peace and perfect harmony. We're facing it and saying, be gone. We're seeing that all of the things that are being revealed, we're no longer wanting, because that's what Christ went ahead and showed us. That's what Krishna went ahead and showed us. That's what, Buddha went ahead and showed us. That is exactly what Moses went ahead and showed us. You have to see that we are elevating, and it's no longer about religion. It is about your spiritual growth. And spirituality is in reality that you've already gone to hell and back. You've already seen it. You've already experienced it. And right now, what we're going to be experiencing, what we're choosing, that is our superpower, ladies and gentlemen. The power to choose. That's what we have. It's free will. And what we're choosing is that we're no longer going to be a part of the mediocrity of hate, ruthlessness, anger, resentment. Those are no longer our truths. We go forward, and we're now expanding our consciousness. And so we've got to let go of certain things, certain people, certain ideologies that are no longer serving the mass consciousness. Change is inevitable. All of us are going to change. That's the only constant that's happening on a daily basis. Because I'm going to go ahead and tell you, it's like I know that, the demands that I have in my life, I can honestly say were some of the demands that I had when I was 25 years old. I am no longer 25 years old. I have changed, I evolved. And I'm looking, I'm like going, oh, how is it that I'm repeating this? Oh my Lord. And the lesson is, yes, I am young at heart, but I'm also very wise. And I am choosing, the path that I want to embark on. So I'm choosing very wisely now, even if things that are being presented to me whenever I was 25 years old, of multitasking all the time, so on and so forth, going at 100 miles an hour and all this other stuff. Okay, granted, I am young, always going to be young. But I'm also going to choose very wisely what I'm going to say yes to. That is our superpower. So with that being said, I want for all of you to understand that, the fulfillment is today. You are that vessel. And I'm inviting each and every one of you to embrace that truth, that the greater your consciousness of being, the more automatically will the flow from this consciousness into the acquisition of the things that you desire. You are the co-creator with Source. Ladies and gentlemen, at this very moment, I want to say thank you so very much for allowing me to come into your home, to come and to uplift you. The Gold Dust Club, that little part that I just shared with you. Remember, you always are in command. You're always the producer, the director, and the idol of the show. You are a co-creator with God. So let us go ahead and hold our tithes and our offerings in our hands. And let us go ahead and let me get into this particular room. Hold on. It's up here. Okay. So let us go ahead and hold our tithes and our offerings and our prayer requests. If you have any specific prayers, please put them into the into our thread. I'm saying a special prayer for those that have dearly departed just recently, for the families that have been affected. And we send you all the love and the peace that passes understanding at this very moment. So let us hold our tithes, our offerings, and our prayer requests and say, divine love in me, as me, and through me, blesses and multiplies all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. And so it is. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle. I'm ready for a miracle today. I've got my mind in tune for one. I'm ready to experience one. I'm ready for a miracle today. My mind is open, ready to receive it. My heart is opened all the way. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle. I do accept a miracle today. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle. I do receive a miracle today. Very good, very good. Yay! I love you guys. See you soon. Enjoy all of your gobble gobbles this next few weeks.